thank you all so much for being here. I'm Ted Nielsen, and I'm the Chief Product Officer here at Bidgely. And what I want to talk with you today in our product keynote is both kind of celebrating our successes over the last year, but really looking forward. Where are we investing? Where are we seeing the trends? And how do we want to respond to that so that we can make you more successful as an organization? As an AI company, we believe deeply that the right data about what programs to run and how your customers are going to respond to those programs, what's actually happening behind the meter is going to help you unlock an absolutely transformational future. And up until now, we have built a thriving ecosystem on top of that right data. We've built our customer experience, our engagement, grid products, and analytics workbench products on top of UtilityAI. And those products you have used absolutely incredibly. Today, we ingest close to 1 terabyte a day of that right data. That's data that every single day we are able to use to improve those models, to help you improve those outcomes, and to make those products more powerful and to make them more impactful. And they're so impactful, in fact, we've added close to 12 million new meters in pilots in just this year alone. Each one of those represents a customer who now understands what's happening, is receiving coaching that's going to allow them to help shift load, to help them save money, to take advantage of programs that are available to them. Each one of these meters represents a family, someone whose life is being changed because of our choice and because they're enjoying Bidgely's products. But we haven't stopped. We keep investing in those products. Our team has done 37 new releases this year. That's a release that makes those products stronger, that makes that engagement more sticky, that makes the features and capabilities of them even more powerful. Now, I said we were an AI company, and we have the stats to prove it. Close to 1/4 of Bidgely's employees are in data science and data analytics roles. That means that giant pile of data that we have to process every single day becomes more powerful. We develop more signal. We increase our accuracy, and we're able to connect better and better every single day because close to 1/4 of the company is focused on understanding how to put that data to work. So I want to turn to distribution grid planning. This is really a complex product. As you know, like grids themselves are complicated beasts. In a certain sense, you have a rat race. You have a problem of it's going to be 95 and 100% humidity in Chicago this weekend. Every air conditioner on the planet is going to be going at full blast. Or like before, that one transformer in that one neighborhood, every night at 9 p.m., they're going to plug in those cars, and then they're throwing a party, and then this is happening, and this is happening, and oh, what about that storm that just happened, and oh man, that line is down, and what am I going to do? And it's a rat race. And you're sort of in this short-term load forecasting world, trying to understand, how do I intervene? How can I make it better? How can I manage what I have? But more importantly, while you're running that rat race, you're also running a marathon. You have to think about your grid as an asset. How do I deploy my capital to help build out the capacity that I need? And how do I intervene with non-wires alternatives to help understand how I can work with my ratepayers to help create the load shapes that I need to help manage my grid through this transition? And so we thought about our product exactly along those lines, mapping at every level of the grid, at the transformer, at the feeder, at the substation level, exactly what is happening to help you pinpoint assets under stress, to help take that great predictive capability around distributed energy resources and help you find the trends in EV adoption and solar adoption, to then, almost like a DJ booth with lots of knobs and lots of options, help you play different futures, like the world is in fact getting hotter or maybe not quite as much. Or man, lots of people have adopted EVs, or actually given the current regulatory environment, there's less of a tax incentive, and so maybe that slowed down. Whatever the case may be, and all of the different variations that live between there, to help you test multiple futures and understand what options you're living in. And then at some point, you're going to go through door number one. One of those scenarios is probably going to be closer to the truth than anything else, to then help you plan and shape the non-wires alternatives that you need to help build and defer upgrades while you're deploying capital across the grid. And then finally, seamlessly integrating planning studies so that your existing workflows that do power flow modeling can fit within a unified workflow. All 5 of these are components of a proper grid planning product. So I want to start with scenario planning. And you can see here, each one of these items over here on the map on the right, sort of a smattering of green and yellow and red. Some are already under stress. But when you start playing, all of a sudden the greens start to go away. They start to go yellow, and then they start to go red, and they start to go really red, and really scary red. And then we can begin to see and understand at each asset how deficient it is. What are the problems at a power level? Similarly, on non-wires alternatives, digging into one of those assets, we can then see and understand, oh, this is actually the level of deficiency that we're seeing. Let's create a plan. Let's actually figure out whether with what programs, whether it's a cooling shift that you can then go in and customize and understand, well, we're going to implement this program and we expect it to have this impact, or this program or that program. And then be able to build out and understand not just the future that will be inflicted upon you as the weather is changing and adoption of EVs is changing and solar is changing and battery adoption is changing and more data centers are coming online and whatever the case might be. You also then understand what options are available to you, not just throwing money at the problem, but creating an ecosystem and environment where your customers are working with you. And that works best when you deeply understand what their actual behavior is. That only comes from the level of true disaggregation that helps power and understands these forecasts at this level.